have Armando with the Boy Scouts lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, he's gonna go over there even. Oh, well, okay.
All right.
Both your
Okay,
hearts.
so may all people in uniform salute, and everyone in civilian clothes, please put your right hand over your heart. Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Armando.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job, good job.
All right. So,
Yeah, if you do it really quick, you won't have Miriam hassle you because she's coming.
oh, well, good. Well,
Only
what would the
because-
meeting be
only
without
because
more
Howard-
than one?
Only because Howard had to call me while I was.
All right, since our secretary is not here yet, I'll do roll call. I am here. Howard Benjamin.
Here.
Joseph Lazarovitz.
Here.
Jeanette Hop.
Here.
All right, we have a
Oh,
quorum
go on the
and
other
we
side.
can
I'm gonna-
officially conduct business.
Okay.
Next up, public comment, first time around. Miriam, you have 2 minutes,
Right now.
right this second.
Well,
You know what you're
what I'm
talking
here
about?
for is to make sure that
Time is up.
He's teasing, go ahead.
That the general meeting, which is held, in a couple of more weeks, I want to make sure that the meeting doesn't run late, so, George said that he's going to work out time, that any group that come, they have a maximum 10 minutes to speak.
Yeah,
And also to, that way,
we have enough time for public comment.
and also, yeah, right, which is a non-agenda item, with any, to speak on any non-agenda item. And of course, George said we have up to 10 minutes for any comments, including public comments, so. But I don't want to keep the people over. If it's running late, we understand, but I don't want it to happen again, because this is kind of like impeding on our public comment, which is non-agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Anybody else for public comment?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Monica.
I think the meetings could run much more efficiently if board members, certain board members, would not be making comments on every single item and wasting people's time, and also saying things that maybe are said without thinking. People say stupid things sometimes, and or things that are hurtful to stakeholders, even after the stakeholders leave. It's just not appropriate for board members.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? Going once, going twice. All right, secretary's report. Mr.
Donna's going to
Henry.
be arriving later, so she'll speak on the second part.
Very good.
Second one.
Mr. Henry did send the October and November minutes, so that'll be two separate votes. That'll be two separate votes. You want to pass those around for next week? So
Okay,
we will do
once
that.
again, he's gonna have to send them to the entire board.
Okay, so
Me too? I think, oh, here.
we will follow up with him on that, and also get a ruling out of the city attorney about his being termed out for secretary. Treasurer's report, Ms. Hop.
Okay, I don't have all of the data with me, sorry. I told Howard earlier that unfortunately, our favorite person, Merlot, tells me that the last form I used wasn't the latest one either, but it was the one he emailed me. So now I'm trying to find which one it is he wants so I can fill the stuff out, and both Howard and I can sign it, and then I will give you the updated. We have approximately 20,000 less the food from this last meeting, and I caution you to remember that they still haven't given us the $8,000 they were going to give us back, or however much they were gonna, but at least the $8,000. So, kind of maybe we sort of have 28, but we're not sure. So I don't want to say 28 until we know for positive. But so we'll stick with the 20 figure so you have an idea. And we're about to get the jackets, as Howard mentioned to you, and a few other things that we need to get, like everybody's cards for the people that don't have any, and there's pretty much everybody. And, pardon me?
The nameplates we're gonna look into
Exactly.
tomorrow as
So we're
well.
gonna be spending, some money on that stuff too, just so you know, so.
Good stuff.
Okay, and we're buying the projector tomorrow.
Yes,
Very
we're
good.
gonna be,
So then
yeah,
I will
we're
let,
going to Fry's,
the director of the zoo know that.
yes.
And we will be good for,
Is he bringing any samples?
he's bringing an orangutan
All right.
named Joseph.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, I was hoping he was
I want a
bringing in
lion.
something
I
else.
thought it was a
I want a
rhino.
lion.
All right,
An elephant? Oh, okay.
so we'll approve the treasurer's report when you pass it out next week. Very good,
Yes.
Jeanette. Committee chairperson's reports. Anybody? All right.
Carino will have, he'll be here.
He's got one thing that came out of the plum committee, which was the 15600 Van Owen Street variance. I think that's the only
Yeah,
one.
we also, and we had to postpone the Hazeltine thing because Regina didn't show up.
Right.
Okay.
She wasn't informed. It wasn't her fault, it was our fault.
Okay.
Okay, in budget advocates, I went to 4 different department head meetings and basically kind of covered the minutes or what we did at the last meeting. We are in the midst of writing the white paper now, so that's basically really all I have to report about that. Is we split it up into groups and took about 4 department heads each group, and then now we're working on writing and tonight actually is when they're doing that, and I'm missing that, but I will be there for the 3rd Saturday meeting and find out what happened.
Very good. All right, just going down the list then. New business, 8A, speech and presentation by Los Angeles Zoo Director John Lewis. Mr. Lewis is participating in our ongoing speaker series. Basically, this guy's the head of the zoo. He has been for some time, and I have it on the agenda for 30 minutes, but I doubt it'll take that long.
need money.
I make a motion, we approve 8A as is, and welcome the director of the LA Zoo.
Seconded.
I will just correct the 30 minutes to 15 minutes, because it's gonna be a long, long list of speakers.
Would, this meeting isn't, there's not that much on this meeting.
No,
'cause
there
it's
really
December.
Well, you
I
said
think
10 minutes.
No, I know.
Wait.
Usually what the other neighborhood councils do is December is like their be nice to each other month.
Yeah.
Have gingerbread,
Oh,
cookies,
Okay.
and, and then they, January, it's
okay.
back into, yeah, then back at each other's throats in January, but, so, I kinda took to that tradition.
So how
Since
many
the
minutes-
secretary,
So how many minutes are you
Hold on.
going?
I'm gonna leave it at 30 minutes, but I don't think he's gonna take that much.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it as is.
And just so you understand, sorry,
I'm
my
sorry.
interjection, boss, but the 10th is our regular meeting, the 17th is a
It's
separate
the
meeting.
summit.
That's the
That's the
summit, so
homeless
it's only
summit.
gonna be the summit, nothing else.
Yeah, there'll be
Yes.
nothing else on the agenda but the
Nothing, only
summit.
the
Yeah, so
summit.
it's not gonna interfere with this
No.
meeting, okay, just so you know, cause I
Yeah, this
was pretty
meeting
sure
will
it was
be,
different. We got five
quick by our
Wednesdays this
standards.
month. Yeah,
So
so.
8A, I made the motion, Mr. Benjamin seconded it.
Excuse me,
Yes,
30 minutes for the zoo director?
I don't think he's gonna speak.
He needs a lot of
Oh,
money.
well, you know what,
Does he
please, I don't care if he needs a lot of money.
He's
He
not
is
gonna ask
not
for
a
it, he just needs it.
stakeholder,
A lot of money for what?
and 30
The zoo
minutes,
isn't self-sufficient.
especially when people are
You're gonna
sitting
be right
there.
after that, I promised you.
Yes, I understand that, but we're down to 8B, and I was there with many of my neighbors, and we weren't even able to speak until 10 after 10. That's unacceptable. That's
Well, you have my
egregiously
word.
offensive.
You have my word that you will be the second thing on the agenda this time around, I promise you.
Okay,
And you can hold my feet to the fire, as I know you will, Monica.
yes.
Are we happy with 30 minutes, or do you wanna get 25? It doesn't matter.
I don't have
We-
a problem with that.
There isn't a person that has gone 30 minutes except the city controller when he was talking about his new,
Right, program.
Yeah.
This is a fellow that he depends on, donations to,
but he's not asking for money.
No,
He's-
no, but I'm just saying, he's probably trying to pitch the fact that he wants people to become, members
Volunteers,
and,
volunteers.
yeah, well, not just volunteers, to
Let's
become
put it
a
on for
member,
20
and
minutes
that
to
way
make
you-
everybody
20 minutes
happy.
and that's not, yeah.
Well, because that way you, my husband and I have been members of the zoo for 35 years, and we don't even have the money
My
anymore, we're
parents told
still
me
doing
I
it.
belong in a zoo.
Yeah, and we still do, and we don't have a lot of money, but we do it anyway because they need
All
it,
right,
and
we'll
we
do it
know
for
that.
20 minutes. Let's hear from
Okay.
Candy and then
And if
we'll
you're an
we'll go
animal
for
lover,
this
you
to be on
like
the
that.
agenda.
Thank you,
Candido.
Mr. President, I'm glad you reduced it, because I agree with Monica. I think the neighborhood council is doing great work, but you're doing too much that doesn't affect Van
It
Nuys.
does affect.
And when you take a stakeholder like Monica, who's got a very important issue, and yes, I want to hear from the zoo, and I want to hear from Mr. Santana, but honestly, I thought Mr. Santana was a waste of time last time, because his information was so sketchy that you really didn't get anything that you could really take, wow, that's really important. So, you know, again, we like the guest speakers, but, you know, I mean, let's keep it to a minimum.
20 minutes, I'm happy with
I
that.
too would like to comment since we're on this issue. I question the whole speaker series. When was this decided? This is supposed to be a board meeting regarding business, regarding the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. If various departments of the city wish to come and propagandize, they should find another forum to do it and not impose themselves on the stakeholders. I find it quite abusive. So you really should reconsider this speaker series. Thank you.
It should
good.
not be part of the regular meeting.
Very good. So the vote on this will be, I'll do the vote and then we'll turn it over to Mr. Henry. So we're voting on 8A. I did the motion, Howard seconded it. It's for 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes. I'm calling for the vote. I vote yes. Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. Lazarovitz,
Yes.
and Ms. Hop.
Yes.
And then, Mr. Henry, we were just voting on the zoo director coming and speaking, so
Okay, aye.
there you go. All right. Next up, 8B, the VNNC to consider submitting a community impact statement on the proposed use of the property at 14926 Kittredge Avenue in Van Nuys. The VNNC is aware of the concerns that the neighbors have and would like to work with all parties involved to come to a mutual understanding to mitigate this issue. Monica, you got language for us?
No, I don't have any language this evening for you. You know, because we continuously are finding out various factoids on this. Number one now is that, of course, the house was purchased with taxpayer monies. You know, so that also is something that we're going to be addressing with the Board of Supervisors. You know, and the question of what is it? SED, severely emotionally disturbed, is the acronym used, as well as severely, persistently, mentally ill people to be occupying the home. And now we're finding that it is going to be an emergency shelter. So as we continuously find, you know, a new twist to the agenda, we have to wonder, what are we actually dealing with? Because, you know, there was never any communication to anyone in the community. Of course, that was because there was only an 18-day escrow. And we all know how that comes about. The people that are wielding the money are the ones that determine what the length of an escrow is. So no, I don't have language for you from the neighbors yet on the community impact statement, but I will be getting it together and sending you an email on that, because I only was aware of this I think it was on Thanksgiving Day,
Yeah,
so it's,
not that long ago.
yeah.
So what we can do then is leave the language on as is, the language to be on the agenda, and then hammer it out next week. Are we happy with that?
George?
Yes, Mr. Robbins.
Oh, no,
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking, but he's sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
Yes, Karina.
if the language was gonna be made, should it be sent to all parties?
Yes.
Yeah, but then if we're gonna hammer out the language next week and we don't know
Well,
what
if
it is now.
if it's gonna be brought before, shouldn't it
Yeah, they
be
don't have any
sent
time
at the same time that everybody gets
That's
it?
right.
But we don't have the language, so I mean.
There is no
When it's-
language.
Yeah, when,
When?
yeah, when
When we
it's
do have the
being
language.
done.
Well,
When's
Mr.
done?
Robbins is gonna be at the meeting next week,
Well, I
I will
know.
be at the meeting.
and I bet you Monica will be there next week. So, what are you saying,
But
Q?
he's asking that Monica's speech be presented earlier than next week so that they have time to
Well,
have information to
Well,
respond.
That-
Monica,
that's-
are you gonna
Email
send
the
it to
language.
me in the next couple of days, or you wanna wait until the meeting?
I don't want to rush with this, so I would probably say that you'll have it before the meeting on Wednesday, no later than Monday of next week.
Okay, so I can
as soon as
send
you
it
get
out by
just
then.
Send it out to everybody.
I have a question. Is this the same property that,
Yeah,
Was the,
what was I gonna say?
same property.
No, I was gonna say,
Where the kids are going to
Yeah.
say.
where the termed out foster care kids wanted a place. That were not criminal, that passed school. Okay, that's all I wanna make sure, thank you.
Yes, it's an emergency shelter.
Well, it would be an emergency. If you're termed out at 18, you have nowhere to go and you have no
Please.
skills.
Please.
alright, well, let's debate that next week.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be
8B,
debatable because she has her mind made up, but that's fine.
and we will, cross that bridge next week.
Mr.
8B,
President, I had my hand up.
yes, Candido.
You know, again, Monica, I wish you were on this board because you make sense. We were collecting signatures this week and we've got over 250 and they all agree with you. That this is being brought to their community, shouldn't have been brought to the community. And it's not that you don't care about the kids, because I know you care about these
That's
kids.
right.
But you know, how many times are they gonna shove things down this neighborhood, Van Nuys, and expect to get away? How many, 29 in the last so many years? I mean, enough is enough, so, you know, I hope you continue, but, because you're talking for your neighbors. That's the one thing I found out, you talk for your neighbors, you represent them.
Thank you.
Alright, so 8B.
Can I just say that the mischaracterization of the occupants has been noted by our organization?
Good.
Fair enough. So 8B, we will, without objection from the executive committee board members, I make a motion that we adopt 8B in the language as is, with the stipulation that we will send out the language next Monday. That's my motion. Do I have a second?
second.
Okay, with that, I call for the vote. Mr. Secretary on 8B.
Okay, President Thomas,
Yes.
Vice President Benjamin.
Yes.
Secretary Hendry, aye. Treasurer Hop,
Aye.
Mr. Lazarovitz,
Aye.
it passes.
Very good. Next up, officially elect the 5 representatives authorized by the VNNC to submit community impact statements. An individual or a committee may draft a CIS, and the board approves the document and position. This is then uploaded to the city clerk's portal by authorized members. The selection of these persons is confirmed by an official board vote, which is what we'd be doing next week, and submitted in either a letter of resolution or by an adopted board minutes stating the selection of up to 5 people. Submissions of the names must also include both the phone number and the email address for each person. This information must be on file with Dunn's field office. So I'm happy to be one of the 5 and
Are we
will
announcing those phone numbers
be,
out loud?
not necessarily, Dunn just
Okay,
wants
good,
them.
good, because.
And I will be
they-
happy
that
to
shouldn't
stand
be-
for election next week to be a CIS submitter. Do we have anybody else that wants to do that? All right, so Hop, Hendry, Carino for planning and land use.
Sure.
All right, so we'll go Hop, Hendry, De La Cuesta,
I'll do it too.
and
Thank you,
Bentley.
Alan.
Okay, good, fine.
In all honesty, it is really super easy. You sign in, you cut and paste the language. If it
Super easy if you know how to
corresponds
cut
with the
and paste.
council file, you put the council file number in,
Yeah.
and voila. It can take a grand total of 2 minutes.
Yeah, no,
to
I
submit
gotta
these.
learn how to cut and paste, I don't know
How
how to
about
do that yet. Super
Yeah,
easy
but
if
you
you
have
know
to
how
be
to
on the
do
board.
that.
So you have to be on the board. So I make a
I'm old, I don't
motion that
know.
we
I
adopt
have
the
a question.
language.
Question?
Yes, yes.
Since we're on the CIS process, I just wanted to have an update or clarification of what the status is of that CIS that was supposed to be written on the issue of the minimum wage. Remember, the person came before us, requested a CIS, and
Is
at the
that
vote of the
hotel?
board, it didn't quite, the vote was to oppose the minimum wage
Right.
ordinance.
Right.
Was that ever written, and was it submitted to whom? I believe, Who was responsible for that CIS?
Me,
And did you ever do that?
yes,
And where was it submitted?
to the city clerk portal. I can send you the email if you want.
Yeah, it was a negative impact statement.
Right,
Yes,
we
I
did
know,
that.
I'm glad
Number
about
one.
that, right.
Yeah.
No, I'll hunt through the emails.
And what about the CIS for the property at 6908 Vesper Avenue? That also was a negative declaration? Was that also?
Yeah, because I remember you bringing it up at the meeting, and then I went home and did it.
And it was submitted to the file,
Mhm.
to the appropriate representatives?
To the appropriate representatives.
Okay,
Because
thank
we
you.
want to be the #1 CIS submitter.
Right, right.
It's not
Well,
just that, we
sometimes
wanna-
less is more, you know.
Not in this case. When you
Well,
want to
we,
oppose, you want to make sure it's on
I would
record.
focus on quality rather than quantity.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
That's wishful thinking, yes, we'll work on that. So the Vesper one, and then the hotel minimum wage one.
Right.
Isn't it
So I'll see if I can find the emails and send them to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so the 8C, officially like the 5 representatives, I make a motion, we adopt the language as is.
Seconded.
With that, I call for the vote on 8C, Mr. Secretary.
President Thomas.
Yes.
Vice President Benjamin.
Yes.